Food, glorious food. That's right, this video is all about food photography. But with a twist, we're not using a mirrorless or DSLR or anything like that. We're using what most people tend to use when they're doing food photography. And that is the trusty smartphone. Whether you've got an Android, iPhone, doesn't matter. There's more people taking pictures of food these days and they're using their phones to do it. So this video is all about getting the best quality you possibly can using the iPhone. This is the iPhone 14 Pro, but it'll work basically for any of the iPhones, especially with the newer ones getting better quality. But that's what this is about, how to get the best quality photo out of this for your food photography. So if you want better food photos, stick around. Let's get into it. Alrighty, like I say, food, glorious food, and I do love food. I love cooking food, but best of all, I enjoy eating food. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Michael. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe so you're aware when I post new content like this. As I say, we're trying to get the best quality we possibly can from our phone. So how do we do that? Let's go into our settings and into camera. That's the first place we need to go. So you come down into your settings, go to camera, then you have all your different controls for video and photo. We want to go under formats. And I tend to use the most compatible. It works the best. But how we get the best quality? Turn on your camera raw. You want to work in a raw file to get the most detail possible. Click on that, then you see you have JPEG Max up to 48. You have your Pro RAW 12 megapixel and Pro RAW Max up to 48. That's the one you want. Now, if you don't want to work in a true RAW file, you can use the JPEG Max, get you a better file, and it will get you better quality if you don't want to deal with the RAW compatibility issue. But for the best quality, you want that RAW 48 Max. That's what you want. All right, now the next thing we need to do to get the best quality from our phone is you open up your camera app. From there, you want to use the 1x. You don't want to go with the 0.5, the 2, or the zoomed in at 3 if you have the Pro version. You want to use the 1x. It is the best quality lens and will give you the best quality image. Also, you want to use the rear-facing lens. You don't want to use the selfie lens. It's not quite as good of a quality. All right, so we've set to RAW and we're using the 1x lens. Let's get into the studio and talk about lighting and how we take some photos with our phone. Let's jump into the studio. Now that we're in the studio, I have everything all set up for us here. We have some jam on bagels. Delicious. This is iPhone food photography. Specifically for the iPhone, it'll work for Android as well, although some of your settings and where you change them will be different. But for the iPhone, and this is the iPhone 14 Pro again, this is what we're going to be doing. The first thing we're going to talk about though is lighting. Are you going to use like an LED type lighting like these to light your subject? This one always takes a long time to come on. So you've got LEDs, which I'm being lit by right now. We also have, funny enough, studio strobes. These are studio strobes that are lighting this scene right now. Now you can't use it as the strobe part function, but you can use it for continuous light source, and that's what we're talking about. Now, if you're like me in my studio, I don't really have much daylight available to me to be able to do this, so I'm always dependent on continuous lighting. If you have a nice window, you have some beautiful light that you can use to do food photography, which will up the game. Now, when we're also talking about light, we need to talk about diffusing the light. Are you going to use, if you have natural light, you can hang a sheer, white sheer in front, soften that light out right out. Oh, beautiful. Maybe you want the hard light look. Get rid of that sheer, let that sun blast in. Here, I could take the scrims off here and create a harder light look, or I can use a smaller light source to create a harder light look. But it's all about that lighting, especially like with my jam. I want that glistening. I want it to look moist and juicy and so good. So lighting, the types of lighting that you're going to use. It's up to you and what you have available. Now, the other thing you're going to want to do is to be able to control that light. If you've watched this channel, you've probably seen this little piece a billion times. I can bounce light around by where I move this. This is white, it gives a softer look. If I had a piece of tinfoil on top of this, now I can create a harder, sharper light look by using my studio strobes with it. So we want to be able to control the light, bounce it around. Also, if this was black, I could do a negative fill to help darken shadows in on that side. And that's something you might want. So you can block light. If you've got light spilling in where you don't want it, you use what's called a gobo, and it blocks in between. You could also use something like a cucoloris. Give me 2 seconds and I'll grab one. This is my homemade version of cucoloris. It's basically a piece of foam core that I've cut holes in, and I can put in front of the light source, and I can create shadows and patterns. That makes my image more interesting. That will give us a better iPhone food photo. So it's not just about the settings, it's also about the propping. It's also learning about food photography and all the tips and tricks that go with it to get the best out of your phone. Now, you're not going to simply do this in a restaurant. You're not going to run around with all this stuff, but you might have a menu card that you can use to bounce light into your food. That will work as well. Now, as I say, for the settings and the things you're going to want to do, get these lights out of the way here. You want to shoot, as I told you, on the one-time lens. The other thing that you want to do is shoot in portrait mode. So go from photo to portrait. Hey, nice feet. Anyways, portrait mode. It'll help blur that background out. So when we get like this, we can create an awesome looking image. If we come down here and you see move farther away, I have to change my angle to where I am. Let me come this way. There we go. And it blurs the background. Now also, if I push up on portrait, I get additional settings. Let's change and make it more out of focus. So now I'm at 1.4. Look at that background. Now if I come the other way, it brings more of that background in detail. Adjust your f-stop. That way you can control the depth of field that you're getting from, like I say, the 1.4, which is really blowing the background out. And you can go all the way up to like f16, where you've got a greater depth of field. It's nice to have that control, but you want to shoot in portrait mode. Now the next thing, to up your game, get the best quality photo. Do you want to shoot the food on an angle like this? Everybody does that. You can, and you can create a very nice photo. What happens though if we turn a phone upside down? You get a totally different look to the image, because when I'm like this, I can't really, I'd have to lower this below the table level in order to get that angle. Well, I'm stuck by the table, so that's the lowest angle I can get. But if I invert upside down, I can create a way lower angle and get a whole different perspective on that food. Look at the difference between the two photos. There's quite a bit of difference between that. Control your focus. That way you've got not just controlling your focus, but your depth of field, that f-stop, hugely important. You can control it, and you've got those two different looks that you can get from this. The other thing you're gonna wanna do while you got your phone here like this is not only are you gonna wanna set your focus point, but see how I got the little sun symbol? Grab that sun, pull it down, pull it up. Pull it up, look at that, I'm brightening the scene. So if I keep clicking, I can see I can move that up, or I can decrease the exposure. You want to control the exposure on the scene. Don't let the phone totally take control of this stuff. You have the option to create a blurred background and increase the depth of field. You have the ability to control the exposure by brightening or darkening. Then you can use bounce cards or negative fills to help control the lighting. Now you're getting the best quality photo that you can. So that's basically about 6 points that will get you better quality food photos from your smartphone. Starting with that raw 48 megapixel base image to give you lots of details, so when you get in post-process, whatever program you use, you have the most detail and you can create the best image going. So that's all the points I have to that. If you have other points or something that I missed, or you want me to go more in depth in, let me know. I'll be glad to. That's basically it for this one. I think I'm going to have some bagel and jam. Sounds pretty good to me. And it's strawberry rhubarb jam, one of my favorites. So anyways, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're aware when I post new videos like this. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. So until the next time.